Hey everybody, Ben for the Bonehead podcast, and welcome to Top 5 Friday. Every Friday we get together and we have a look at the top 5, something normally to do with Blood Bowl. Now, we have started the new year. We've got through the bank holiday week and everything's kind of back to normal. So we thought we'd do a top 5 looking at top 5 Blood Bowl events to look forward to in 2023. So we put the post up earlier this week and we had a ton of great suggestions and some really varied ones as well, which has kind of led us to do something a little bit different off the back of this. But we've got a nice top 5 things to look forward to in Blood Bowl 2023, so let's delve straight in. Number 5 is your local tournaments, your local league, the things that you are doing, your small group, your medium group, whatever, something that's happening local to you. Not a big splashy event, but a really good fun event. And if you listen to our end of year podcast, you'll know that our focus this year is of playing more tournaments, going and seeing more things, and just, hey, playing more Blood Bowl, because more Blood Bowl is obviously more better. But there's a couple of things out there that we wanted to help with. So we used to do Tournament Tuesday. That ended up being a lot of work and it was a bit chasey of the information. And then we kind of thought we'd try something different, get a little Discord, in the Discord about the tournaments and stuff. But that became a little bit hard to follow as well. And again, if you're not in the Discord, you don't see that information. So what we've done is over on the Bonehead podcast website, if you go to boneheadpodcast.com, you can click a little button at the top here that says tournaments. And we are going to start to kind of gather and support worldwide tournament listings. Now, I know what you're thinking. Some of you out there are NAF veterans and you'll be like, well, there's a list on the NAF website. Yes, there is. But your tournament won't appear there if, for example, our Beachhead tournaments, we were pending for 3 months. So unless it's approved, it doesn't appear on the list. And we waited months to get approved. So not ideal. And then, quite frankly, there's a whole load of a whole load of Blood Bowl tournaments out there that are not anything to do with the NAF. And actually, we just want more Blood Bowl. So if you are attending a tournament, if you are running a tournament, then we've got kind of a little system brewing up here. And if you want to go to a tournament, you can check out our website to see who's posted events. So yes, if you go to the tournaments page, you can click share tournaments, you can click find tournaments. If you go to find tournaments, here's our little list and it's broken down by region, so UK, Europe, etc, etc. And the tournaments that you guys have sort of wanted to share with us will appear there as well. So you can go through and see if it's 11s, if it's 1 day, 2 day, whereabouts, what country it is, what state or county it is, the links to it, a little bit more details, and TO and contacts there as well. So you can just go and see what's happening in the world of tournaments, and if you want to submit one, you just click share tournaments. And because apparently the theme of this year is boring Google documents, we've got a little submission thing here where you name your tournament, put the date, what type of tournament it is, Blood Bowl 11s, Blood Bowl 7s, Dungeon Bowl, something different, how many days it is, what country, etc, etc, just some details there. So details light, but enough there so that people can kind of see what's going on and coming up. Now, the other thing is, if we know about these tournaments in advance, 2 things we can kind of do to help. One is we can talk about them. So every time we do a podcast, we'll go to the news section, we'll go to the tournaments page and see what events are coming up in the next kind of month, so that we can kind of keep abreast of the tournaments that you guys are going to or that you guys are running, because we want to help grow the community. And there's a tournament going on in Portsmouth in a couple of weeks' time, and I had no idea about it. And Portsmouth is not a massive journey from us, and it's kind of like, we could go to that, but I didn't know about it. And there'll be other people that didn't know about it as well. So that's kind of what we want to do. And the second thing is, if we see tournaments coming up in advance, we can get in contact with the TOs and see if they want a little bit extra prize support, some loot or something, just to kind of, I don't know, help the operation, an extra prize, a spot prize for the Bonehead podcast or something like that, just to kind of add value to events. And it's just something that we really want to do and try to help. So number 5 in this list is local tournaments. Submit what you're going to. if you're running it, submit, or if you're looking for it, find tournaments, and as the list grows, hopefully the chance of you playing a great Blood Bowl event will as well. And number 4 is our events as well. So, I mean, I couldn't not put this on the list. Again, if you go to tournaments, you can click Bonehead events and you'll get a list of the tournaments that we're running and a link to it. So the next one we've got coming up is Beachhead in 28 days time as I'm recording this and as this episode goes out. So that's pretty cool. So in 4 weeks time, we'll be running two tournaments over a weekend, Saturday 11s, Sunday 7s, and then the one I'm really excited for is going to be Dorset Dungeon Bowl 2 in May. Now, I've got to get the date confirmed by Peter and Toyman, but we're going to be streaming that one as well, and last time it was just an outrageous amount of fun. A properly good way to get Dungeon Bowl out, and by that time we'll have multiple 3D printed dungeons as well for people to play on, so it's going to be a really good event. It always is. But yes, so we've got actual tournaments, and as the year goes on, there's going to be a couple of other things that we are definitely going to be running as well. So no matter where you are in the world, there will be some Bonehead Podcast Blood Bowl for you to watch, to participate in. So it's going to be a really good year. So 5 is your local tournaments, 4 is our tournaments. And number 3 is the majors. So the NAF help collate tournament results, and as a part of it, actually they run or help support run some big events around the world. Spoiler alert, but we're talking about the majors here. And if you just Google NAF majors, you'll get this page here that kind of talks about it. Now, it's the NAF website, so there's a couple of links there that don't really work anymore, and you kind of have to work around it to get the most up-to-date information. But what I'm trying to get at here is that there are some big events that happen around the world. So there's the NAF Championship in the UK, which doesn't have a link. Let me see if I can find a different link. Majors and Nationals, NAF C, there we go, which is happening at the end of April. There we go. Normally it happens when I'm away, and I think... yeah, I think I couldn't go to this one either as well, which is quite frustrating. But the NAF Championship, there you go. They've got their own little website, so you can go to. It's a massive Blood Bowl event that takes place in Nottingham normally. So it's a really cool one. If you can get to something like that, that's awesome. If you're in Europe, there's the Dungeon Bowl in Germany. There's Chaos Cup in the US. Eucalyptus Bowl in Australia. And they're kind of really special events. Now, we love the big events, and if you want to go to a tournament with 60 to 100 coaches, that's kind of where our BIC or Aegeus Bowl tournaments kind of settle. You know, that's a big tournament for Blood Bowl. But the really big boys, the NAF C's got like over 200, and the other majors are probably about 100 to 150. I think Chaos Cup was 160 last year. So they're really big, special events, and that's definitely worth seeing if you can get to. But the beautiful thing about Blood Bowl is that it's going to be great fun. As long as there's kind of 4 of you, so you can do a round robin, you're going to play 3 great games of Blood Bowl, and that's really what it's about. But being part of something epic, being part of something really special, whether it's one of our events like Beachhead coming up, or, I mean, SCA last year with 70 plus coaches, it's just something really special about it. But imagine going to an event with 200 plus players. Imagine that immersion. It's just such an exciting thing. Number 2, it's Blood Bowl 3. I probably should have put it 3rd on the list, shouldn't I? But no, Blood Bowl 3 is coming out in February, so not very long now. And you're actually going to be able to play current Blood Bowl digitally. Now, there's Fumble, which is awesome, but there is something just spectacular about it. A little cutscene of your Minotaur just decking someone. There's going to be a bunch of teams at launch, but by no means all of them, so there's going to be a lot of limiting factors. But I know I will personally be binging the heck out of Blood Bowl 3. And I know that there's thousands of you out there as well who are going to be doing exactly the same thing when it lands. No, it's not going to be as versatile as Blood Bowl 2. No, it's not going to be as versatile as Fumble. But man, it's going to look great and it's great fun to play. And I am super excited about it because we get to kind of binge those games and really kind of expand and stress test the campaign system for Blood Bowl 2020. Now, I am dying. This is my new kind of trend, my new kind of, not a trend, crusade, is to have a movement 8 or movement 9 Skaven thrower. Because actually the passing 2+ is great, the pickup's great. What I'm looking for is that extra move 9 player. Because imagine that. And then you can slowly brew up and then take, accurate on the ball or great skills, or really save up and get 2 hands. And then you got like an Edge 2+ movement 9 thrower as well. And you'll be throwing the same way as Blood Bowl 2, really, with your gutter runners. But, at least it would be legit. So Blood Bowl 3 landing, we're going to start our journey in this new version of Blood Bowl, really. We've all been playing a ton of tabletop, but this is it. It's kind of digital is going to be catching up, and it's going to give us a chance to really pound the games in. We're going to do our best to run some online tournaments and be involved in online tournaments because it's just such a great way to play more Blood Bowl. And I don't want to say it again, but more Blood Bowl is definitely more better, and this is massively going to help with that. And number 1 for 2023 is as it should be, and that is the World Cup. So the unofficial Blood Bowl World Cup, the NAF World Cup, is taking place in Alicante, Spain on September 7th to September 10th, 2023. Now, we had an interview with these guys as soon as they kind of got pegged to be running it, and it is super exciting. So the last World Cup had 1,400 players. This, I'm hoping, is going to just eclipse that and maybe hit 2,000, maybe more. Now, the world is a very different place, and I think across the board, tournaments are really exciting. There's more tournaments happening, so tournament kind of attendance is a little bit down. And generally speaking, and this is perfectly fine, like, people have just got less money. They've just got less money at the moment to go and do things, to travel to places. But the World Cup is a mecca for Blood Bowl. It's kind of like a pilgrimage to something. Now, Ben and I are definitely going. We're not sure if we're going to be playing or doing coverage instead. I think coverage at the World Cup would be really fun if we can get that sorted. But also playing 9 games of Blood Bowl from people around the world will be pretty amazing too. So this is kind of like the ultimate Blood Bowl holiday. The only thing that would be probably more Blood Bowl holiday-ish is if there was a cruise, but I can't imagine that would be safe for anybody, But the World Cup is going to be just a real beautiful event, and I don't want to put a downer on it, but there is, if you're in like, on the Facebook groups and stuff like this, you will see that there's this fear that it might be the last of the World Cups from the NAF. With Games Workshop bringing in the World Championships for Warhammer, it's reasonable they'll be bringing in the World Championships for Blood Bowl, and then it kind of competes with the World Cup. But if you look at the trajectory of the Blood Bowl community and how Blood Bowl has kind of risen, it was kept alive on its golden throne for years by the community at large, and now Games Workshop have come to kind of reclaim it and shape it in their image. This is a really great time to have this event with the kind of simplified NAF rules where everything that is released at the moment doesn't go into the World Cup rules. So basically up to and including the Amazon spike, but not including the Amazon star players. Anything after that just doesn't exist when it goes to the World Cup. So we've got a lot of months of Blood Bowl to play with a set in stone rule set, which I think is really good for an event that has got people from a myriad of countries playing against each other. It's quite a cool rule set. It's very similar to the match play guide that's just landed from Games Workshop as well. So the kind of star player tax versus skill point system is reasonable, and I think it's going to work out really well for the World Cup. But ultimately, it is a big old Blood Bowl holiday where you can play Blood Bowl, try and win, and then just have drinks with like-minded gamers from around the world. And that's something I'm super excited about. Anyway, that's the top 5 things that kind of are going on in 2023. Your local events, your Bonehead events, the big boys, Blood Bowl 3, and the World Cup. And that's pretty awesome because we haven't even touched the surface. There were some great comments in our thread. You know, Alicia was saying, I'm just getting started in Blood Bowl. You know, a bunch of people were like, I'm looking forward to running my second Blood Bowl tournament. Or this is coming back. Or, you know, George Christodoulou in Australia is just like involved in a ton of Blood Bowl over there. And it's just so exciting to see all of this going on in the world. And I was going to pick like 5 events that I was like, oh, this is really cool. There was too many to choose from. So that's, again, why we kind of want to start putting together a list so that we know what's going on around the world, and hopefully we'll help some people find what's going on as well, because there's so much out there that's worth being excited about, and I just think that's worth sharing. So cool. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up. Please leave in the comments links to events you're going on. Jump on our website and click the button. I'll put the link in straight to the tournament page. Just let's start sharing what's happening, and then hopefully we can do a little bit to help grow it in one way or another. That's what I'd like anyway. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back soon with more Blood Bowl content. Happy blocking. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to support the channel even further, please like and subscribe. It really does help us out. Or come join us on YouTube members or in Patreon, where you can get exclusive access to some content, some loot, early access to basically everything we do, as well as regular competitions. Or you can pick up some Bonehead Podcast loot either on our website at boneheadpodcast.com. We've got the Dungeon Bowl things, we've got tokens and stuff like that, or on our Spreadshirt site as well. Everything you do just helps us make more content and hopefully do it of better quality. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Happy blocking.